podcast listeners. You're tuning into the Dom Jackson Experience with special guest, the naturopathic YouTube princess, Marilyn Merola.
Hey!
Marilyn, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good, feeling happy because it's the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know.
Weekend vibes. And she got a cool hat on, guys, for all you guys watching the YouTube videos. Don't forget to subscribe. Oh, subscribe to her page. We'll plug up stuff later.
We'll talk, yeah.
Anyway, Marilyn and I linked up on the gram.
Mm-hmm.
She had some cool posts about her story of being going from a naturopathic student to finally being an official naturopathic doctor.
Yes.
Well, we'll kind of go into her story. So, like, how did you begin? Where did you start? Like, where does little Marilyn become Miss Marilyn?
Okay, so let's take it back to 1994. No, we don't have to go that far.
You're a rap too?
We don't have to go back that far. But I am not a San Diegan. I'm originally from upstate New York. So growing up there is very different from living in San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
And you're from New York City, right? So yeah, well, even like my little town is called Corning, and that's, I don't know, like the closest mall is 15 minutes away. Like, we don't have like the tall skyscrapers or anything. It's a very small, cute town. Fun fact, Corning, New York is where Gorilla Glass is made, and that's what's on our iPhones.
Oh, wow.
So, hey.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah. So that's where I'm from, and then I moved to Buffalo to finish up my undergrad. It was like Buffalo. There's 2 colleges in Buffalo. I think I went to the more, can I say ghetto?
Yeah.
The more ghetto school.
Oh shit! Oh.
Where there's like stabbings in like the back street or something.
You in the real.
I was safe though, but I heard stories. Yeah,
I'm glad you're safe.
Yeah, thanks. But anyways, so in undergrad, like I knew I wanted to go into the medical field, but I didn't know what exactly I wanted to do. Like I was like, oh, maybe like anesthesiology sounds cool, or orthopedics sounds awesome, which it's funny because in naturopathic medical school, like I hated orthopedics. I hated phys med. I hated anything to do with my hands. So I was like, ooh, glad I didn't go that route. But I went to, one day I decided to search for natural doctor because I was really into nutrition. That's what I did in my undergrad in, was health and wellness, and it kind of included both nutrition and working out, which are 2 things that I'm really into.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I started weightlifting when I was a freshman in undergrad, and it changed my life. I was like, why did I like start this so late?
Preach, girl.
You know?
Preach. So
that's a whole other story. We could talk about like women and lifting. But anyways, I was a health and wellness major, was planning to go to medical school, and then I searched for natural doctor, and I found naturopathic medicine, and I was like, what is this? This sounds like it's too good to be true. Like, this doesn't sound like it could be a real profession where it combines like nutrition and all of those lifestyle factors with medicine. So I looked more into it, read a lot of negative comments and positive comments, and I almost didn't apply, but then I decided to go for it. So I applied to 2 schools. There's only 6 accredited naturopathic medical schools in North America. There's 2 in Canada, and then the rest are here. So one of them is in California, and I've always wanted to live in California. So I was like, oh my god, that's the one. And Bastyr University in the naturopathic medicine world is like considered the Harvard of naturopathic medical schools. Like it's up there. It's really great. They do like a lot of research, and it's really science-based. So that was like my top choice, and then I applied to another school in Portland called the National University of Natural Medicine. I got rejected, which surprised me because I thought the requirements to get in weren't as rigorous as Bastyr's, but apparently I wasn't good enough for them.
Look who's laughing now.
Right? And I got an email from them. They were like, oh, it's time to apply. And I was like, oh, I'm already a doctor.
Take that.
Yeah. So, I applied to Bastyr, and then I didn't hear back, and I thought I got rejected from them too. But then I decided to check my email, like an old email account that I rarely looked at, and I saw that they had emailed me, because that's what I applied with. I don't know what I used. It's like this, one of those emails that you made in middle school with like those funny names, like Marilyn X Love.
Oh my
gosh. So they're like, oh, we'd love for you to come interview. And I had just been in California like the previous week, in LA, because I was visiting for vacation. And I was like, if I had seen this, and the email was like a week old. And I was like, I had seen this when I was there. I could have went down to San Diego, did the interview, but it's fine because I got to go back out to California and do the interview.
It's not a bad. It's not a bad.
Yeah. So I went, did the interview, got accepted, but then there was no spot left at the California location, and I was going to go to Kenmore in Washington, because that's where the main Bastyr campus is. So I was like ready to put down an application for an apartment, or not an application, what is it? Deposit. Yeah. A deposit down on an apartment, and then Bastyr calls me. They're like, hey, we had a spot open up, and would you want to come to this campus? And I was like, yes, and I took it, and I'm here, and the rest is history.
The rest is history, baby.
Yes.
So before we go deeper into it, because I didn't even know what a naturopathic doctor was before like talking to you.
Yeah.
Can you like explain what that is to the listeners?
Of course. So a naturopathic doctor is someone who is trained as a primary care physician who focuses more on treating the root cause and preventing disease. So we take a holistic approach to treating the individual. And with naturopathic medicine, there's 6 principles that we follow that kind of lay the foundation for what we do. There's first, do no harm, or it really should be above all else, do no harm, because we're always trying to do or use the least invasive and safest treatments for you first before anything else. And then there's doctors, teachers, so we're always educating our patients and treat the whole person instead of just treating your symptoms. We're looking at everything. So when you go see a naturopathic doctor, your first intake is really long. It's like compared to like a 10-minute visit with your conventional doctor, it could be an hour and a half with a naturopathic doctor, because we're really diving into your history and looking at every aspect of your life. Doctor is teacher, treat the whole person, treat the root cause, and prevention.
Prevention.
We're preventing disease. So yeah, that's kind of like the gist of it.
Okay. Now, after meeting Marilyn, I obviously Googled it, and you type in naturopathic doctor on Google, you can see some stuff that you may not want to see. First thing I saw was like, a naturopathic doctor's quacks.
Yeah.
You guys did a lot of hate.
Yeah. Let's address this.
Why is that? Where did that hate stem from? Like, I want to hear from a real one. What dispel the myths and like the
Right.
things that people are thinking out there.
Okay, so the reason why so many people think that naturopathic doctors are quacks is because we have our traditional naturopaths and then we have our naturopathic doctors. They're not the same, they're different.
Okay.
So a traditional naturopath can get their degree from anywhere. It doesn't have to be at an accredited school, it can be online. And that's why a lot of people think that we are fake doctors or not real doctors, because they assume we go to those online programs and then call ourselves a doctor, which is illegal. Like, you would be practicing medicine illegally if you were to do that. But I do see when I search too, like the other week I was looking up something for naturopathic medicine, and I came across someone who was saying they're a double board certified naturopathic physician, which doesn't exist. We are not board certified. We have licensing examinations, and there are only 3 board certification exams that naturopathic doctors can do. So that's voluntary. That's not mandatory. That's if you want to become an expert in a specialty area. So the 3 that we have are oncology. So you can be a board certified naturopathic oncologist.
What's an oncologist?
Oh, sorry. An oncologist is someone who treats cancer.
Okay.
But naturopathic doctors can't treat cancer. What we can do is only provide supportive care.
Okay.
Supportive care with like natural therapies. So then there's a board certified naturopathic homeopath. So homeopathic medicine, that's a whole nother story. I'll let you guys look it up.
Yeah, that's probably one you want to Google instead.
Yeah. And then the last one is a board certified naturopathic pediatrician.
Okay.
So besides that, if you ever see someone saying they're a board certified naturopathic doctor or physician, question that. What I like to do is I always go to someone's bio on their website because I'm like, oh, they're a naturopathic doctor or whatever. Like, I want to see what their training's like.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do not see one of the 6 accredited naturopathic medical schools listed, proceed with caution. Because
Okay.
if you are interested in natural medicine, there's nothing wrong with seeing a naturopath, like a traditional naturopath,
Mm-hmm.
because they also work with like the lifestyle factors, your diet, exercise, sleep quality,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. And they also use herbs and more gentle natural treatments.
Mm-hmm.
But naturopathic doctors, we have a more rigorous training, and I mean, the first 2 years are very similar. It's a 4-year program,
Okay.
or you can do a 5-year track if it's too much for you, or if you like are a parent or something. The first 2 years are similar to your conventional medical schools, where you're studying the biomedical sciences. So that's your biochem, anatomy, physiology, embryology, pathology, and then we also have gross anatomy. When I think of medical school, like, I think of cadavers, and those are the dead bodies that you dissect. So with us, like, we have gross anatomy, and we are cutting into the body. We get that hands-on, like, upfront experience with the human body. Like, I had a cadaver where this guy had triple bypass surgery. His heart was huge. It was double the size of a normal heart. It looked like a Frankenstein heart.
Oh,
And you
shit.
could see where he had the surgery, and it was amazing. Like, not everyone gets that experience. And I mean, I was really grateful. At first I was scared because I've never seen a dead body before, but
Yeah, it's hard.
like, that's one thing that like a traditional naturopath doesn't do, for instance. Like, so,
That's more the doctor spectrum thing. Well,
Yes.
the traditional doctor spectrum thing.
and that's what conventional doctors don't understand, is that we go through the same training in the first 2 years that they do. It's very similar, but we also learn like the history and philosophy of naturopathic medicine
Okay.
on top of that. And then the last 2 years is where it kind of differs. We also learn how to do like minor surgery, and learn how to, like, about all the pharmaceutical drugs, and we can prescribe drugs. It differs depending on the state you live in. In
Mhm.
California, we have to be under the supervision of a medical doctor or osteopathic doctor to prescribe drugs. But in other states like Arizona, Washington, Oregon, they have full scope of practice, so they don't need a doctor to like supervise them. They can
Nice.
just,
Do what they
they are a primary care physician there, and they take insurance. We
Wow.
can't here in California. That's another thing that differs.
Okay.
Yeah. And then in the last 2 years, we're also in the clinic. So each of the schools has a teaching clinic, and we are seeing patients. We're taking patient cases. So we also get that hands-on experience with that, and we're using everything we learn and then applying it to real life.
Mhm.
And when we're seeing a patient, we are supervised by like a naturopathic doctor or a chiropractor if you're on one of the physical medicine shifts. Yeah. So
That's like the gist of it.
yeah.
So there's a lot of different things as far as like, so the natural paths are the people that you can go to, but they're not. If they're pretending to be a doctor, they're not a doctor. And that's where the discrepancy is as far as like where you guys get a bad rep, is because some of them, obviously there's probably good ones and bad ones,
Yeah.
but the ones that are pretending to be medical doctors shouldn't be doing that, and that's why you guys get like the heat in the middle of that.
Yeah, basically. And if a traditional naturopath messes up with a client, then that looks bad for all of
All of
us,
us.
because then they just like outsiders like the MDs and DOs just group us together and think, oh, that naturopath, like those naturopaths are doing some sketchy stuff with people and like selling basically like the snake medicine. But no.
Okay.
So that's what they don't understand.
So with some of the things that you've learned being in school so far, what, as far as like the natural path of, let's say, the approach to things, so is it more almost like using like the herbs of nature to heal ailments? But is it more like I'm trying to think how to describe it. Is it more like, I don't want to say that sounds like messed up, but like you like grounding up like the turmeric and stuff into the thing, or is it like how does that process work? Like, let's just say, I don't know, what's something that you've learned that like, are you taking actual herbs and making medicine out of it, kind of like they did back in the day, or like obviously you want to assess through the 6 points to do it. But as far as like helping to fix something, what I don't even know, like how would you treat something?
Okay, I think I understand. Like, what therapy would you use first?
Yes.
And how would you use it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's another little thing that's like a guide for naturopathic doctors. It's called the Therapeutic Order.
Okay.
So it's shaped like a pyramid. Yes. And on the bottom of the pyramid is what they call addressing the foundations of health. So if you don't have a strong foundation with your health and you're trying to give supplements, herbs to get that person better, how effective is it going to be?
Mm-hmm.
Not really. You have to address diet, exercise, make sure they're living a healthy lifestyle first, and then if they need additional help, give it to them. So what's cool is that, like you said, with the grounding up the turmeric and stuff, we do make our own medicine. You know, all the pharmaceutical drugs were derived from plant substances. Mm-hmm. So aspirin, for instance, that's derived from willow bark. And instead of just taking out one constituent from the plant, we're using the whole plant. Mm-hmm. So it works a little differently. And you know how these drugs have like all these side effects? Mm-hmm. And then people automatically assume like the plant from that drug was taken from is dangerous too. Mm-hmm. It's not that simple, because when you use a plant in its whole form, there's different constituents. They have like multiple constituents in the plant. Yeah, and it works synergistically. It has a different effect, but it still addresses like pain, mm-hmm. or whatever. So that's pretty cool, and I know that a lot of naturopathic doctors, some of them let their patients make their own medicine too, like with them.
Wow.
They like let them join in and be like, hey, and it kind of has a different effect on the patient, where it's different than just like going to get a drug. Yeah. Like they're making it, they're like involved in the process, and like, oh, this is going to be medicine to help me heal.
I like that.
Yeah, and another thing with naturopathic medicine is that we're not here to fix you. We're only here to guide you down the path to wellness. So that's another like big thing. And everything we give you, all the supplements, the dietary recommendations, the herbs, ultimately it depends on you to heal. Yeah.
Yeah. I know that's exactly my kind of thing. Yeah. So you mean to tell me that you can't just take a magical supplement or some pill to fix all your ailments? You have to actually take care of your body.
Yeah.
Keep yourself in check.
I wish there was a magic pill.
Oh,
I really wish. Like.
Sounds like just like fitness, guys.
Mhm. I put in the work.
You guys know what I'm talking about. So, what was one thing that you found really interesting? Like, is there certain like, I'm still trying to figure out what because so like, obviously it's a huge field, so many different things. But like, is there anything that you, from your learnings, that you saw that like people eating this more consistently would help them out with, or something like, I don't know, like obviously vitamin C is good, but like, so anything as far as like the herbs that you've seen that help people the herbs that have helped people medically, do you think there's anything that people put to their diet consistently that help out with certain things that people experience often?
Ooh, okay. So gut issues are a huge complaint, and one thing is that if you look at like the way people eat now, what a typical diet is like, it's not very healthy.
Not healthy at all.
We are so busy, we're not taking the time to actually, like, either maybe we don't have the time or we're just lazy, mm-hmm. and like not putting in the time. But one thing you can do, for instance, is there's these plants called bitters.
Okay. They
are exactly what they sound like. They taste bitter.
I hope so.
But you can if you can find a way to incorporate it either in a tincture form, which a tincture is like an alcohol extract of a plant.
Okay.
So it's like more potent than just like.
Will it get you drunk?
No, you won't get drunk. You'd have to drink a lot of it to get drunk.
All right, get your tinctures on.
It's not gonna taste good if it's a bitter though.
Oh, I see.
Nasty. But if we're talking about food, you can buy some bitter like dandelion leaves or arugula and add it into a salad or incorporate it into your meals.
Dandelion leaves?
Mm-hmm.
How do they taste?
They're bitter.
Oh, so more bitters. I'm just going to bitter everything.
Bitters help tell your body to secrete more the hydrochloric acid in your stomach to help you break down the food more. Because a lot of the time when we're so busy, we are also not paying attention. We're not being mindful of our eating. So we're not taking the time to chew, to chew our food thoroughly, and of course it's not going to break down very well in our body. And also when we're busy, we're in that fight or flight mode instead of rest and digest. So eating a little bit of bitters, making sure you're taking the time to actually chew your food and enjoy it. Even if you're on the go, you can still like focus your attention on the food. And if you can find bitters, it's a very simple, easy thing to add to your diet.
Where will they get bitters at? Do they have? Can you go to your local Whole Foods or like?
Oh yeah, Whole Foods, Jimbo, Sprouts, all
these
those
are all
places.
West Coast places.
Oh, East Coast, Wegmans.
For
any, I miss Wegmans. Oh my god.
They don't pay us. We're not talking about them.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can get a tincture. If you want to be quick, you can take like a dropper full or something right before you eat, and even after you eat. Sometimes it can help with the digestion. I take bitters. You know, being in school for 4 years, I became really stressed. Stress affects the way you digest your food.
Yes, it
has an impact on your gut health. So I love taking bitters, and I notice a difference.
What about as far as anything will help you out any fitness goals?
Fitness goals.
I don't know. I mean,
Do you
health
want
overall.
like a supplement or
That's a good question. I think I don't know, because I'm very big on doing little things every day to help with the overall goals of staying healthy. So the bitter things are already huge enough. That's helping with digestion. That's like you are what you eat, and like God knows how bullshit we eat out there. Like we need a fuckload of bitters. But what about like let me think. What about like fiber? I mean, you guys have more of a net. You have more about know more about the backstory of the herbs and the plants and the things that people are eating. So as far as like I don't know if I wanted to like spinach is fine, I know obviously, but is there anything like a super spinach out there, like
a super spinach?
I got anything that you'd recommend also eating along with the bitters that would help out. Just like in general. I just want to know what things should we fucking eat.
What foods to eat?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, I feel like
that's a little broad.
This is okay. So this is gonna, in general, like limit sugar, limit red meats,
drink water.
Limit the processed foods and fatty foods.
Yes.
Drink water. Another thing, don't drink water with your meal. Because water, especially cold water, is going to slow down the digestion and dilute the acidity in your stomach. And that also is going to result in poor digestion. So either drink water like before you eat or after.
I'm speechless.
Room temperature water.
Alright, I did that.
Okay, but back to the foods. And then, just eating the colors of the rainbow, a diversity of different vegetables. So, whatever, red veggies, green veggies, trying to get as many as you can on your plate. And then, nuts, seeds, legumes.
Okay.
Basically almost like a Mediterranean diet. And then for some added protein and extra omegas in your diet, I like to use the acronym SMASH: salmon, mackerel, anchovy, sardines, and herring. So these are fish that are low in mercury, but they have a lot of omegas.
Nice.
So it's really healthy addition to your diet.
And you don't want the mercury.
No, we want to limit it.
A lot of Venus.
Does
stuff.
that answer your question though?
It does. It does.
Okay,
I know diet's kind of hard anyway to talk about, but I'm always trying to think about what someone can take away from like this exact moment they can do today.
Yeah.
So bitters definitely, whether it be the oh my gosh, you just told me the alcohol thing.
Tincture.
Yes, the tincture or the dandelion leaves. Not the ones from the floor. Don't go to your park and just pick them up, right?
I mean, you could, but I wouldn't trust it. Go to the grocery store; they have them.
They're clean over there.
Yeah.
Definitely clean over there. Now, skincare is also something that you're very passionate about.
Yes.
Obviously, because she's glowing.
Thank you.
As far as things that you learned from your own experiences and the naturopathic, schooling, what are some things that you think will help people with skincare that you found helpful?
Ooh, okay. So, I mean, if we're
and I'm black too, so you gotta like have the whole melanin side.
Oh, I got
too.
When you're looking at skin, I mean, it's not just what's on the outside. A lot of skin is rooted, or skin issues start from deep within. So that means we're going back to the gut. The gut is involved in so many different diseases, and skin included. So what you can do is like focusing on like the mindful eating, and like promoting like healthy digestion of your foods, so that you are absorbing the nutrients from the food being broken down. Also, with naturopathic medicine, we use a lot of clinical diagnostic lab testing. So we can do some gut health tests, and that's like taking a stool sample. And then what that does is it analyzes the bacteria in your gut, and then you're also looking for, you can also look for ova and parasites in your gut too. And sometimes there's a dysbiosis that's going on in your gut that is contributing to what is being, or like coming to the surface of your skin. So,
wow, really?
Yeah. So in naturopathic medicine, when we're looking at that, you want to remove the pathogen, re-inoculate, so reintroduce good bacteria into your gut, and then you also want to heal, repair the gut too. So we can use different herbs, like L-glutamine is a very big one. It's very healing to your gut lining. And what else? There's some other ones out
there. Where do you get the L-glutamine from?
Ooh, so if you guys are into supplements, you can buy it from my website. I do a 15% discount for anyone. You don't even have to be my patient to sign up. But if you go to my website, Dr.Merola.com, I'm sure you'll link it somewhere too. And you can click on the full script link in the menu bar and fill out your info, create an account. It's totally free to sign up, and you can find it there. I will make a category for gut health. You'll see it when you log in. Yeah, you just click on that and you'll see all the supplements that I recommend. All the supplements on FullScript are high quality. So FullScript partners with quality supplement brands, and that means that all the supplements are being tested for like purity, potency, and authenticity. So making sure that what's actually in the product that's listed on the ingredient label is in there for sure. Making sure that whatever is in there is in the right amount, so that it's reaching a therapeutic level and actually working. Because you know, some people try supplements and they're like, oh, this didn't work, like I tried it. But it might be because you weren't taking it in the right dose, or that product just didn't have enough of the active constituent in it to work. And then for potency, a lot of supplements that you can get out there might be contaminated. So with heavy metals, aflatoxins, microbes, yeast, whatever. And that's something that, you know, the FDA regulates supplements, but
yeah, I know.
It's not that regulated, honestly.
The same with the fitness supplements too, guys.
Yeah, yeah. And there are some fitness supplements on there too that I can include for you guys too. Yeah, I mean, discounts are great. High quality supplements and discount. So, something to check out.
Check it out. What's my original question? Oh my gosh. This gives so much knowledge.
I know, sorry.
Oh, it's about skin.
Yes.
So it starts off with so your gut affects your skin. What you eat, what you're doing. Is there anything you think that you should avoid, or just the typical like avoid fatty foods, mercury, diet,
for skin?
soda? Yeah.
Oh yeah. So for skin, the big food allergens out there are eggs, soy, gluten and dairy. Gluten and dairy for sure, but I know that's really hard for people to give up. But what you have to do, or what you have to think about, is that it's not a forever thing. You know, once you remove it and you heal the gut or heal whatever is going on, a lot of times people can introduce a little bit back into their diet and they won't have a flare up of whatever they have, eczema, psoriasis, acne. So that's also some things that to keep in mind. It's not forever, because I know people get really scared when it comes to food. Like, oh, you're taking away my bread. Like, people don't like my bread. My ice cream. So, yeah, gluten and dairy, soy, eggs, and sugar. the sweets for sure.
Is there like, there's certain things you should remove, but is there like, this one causes more of this? Is there like a if then that kind of chart, like you eat more eggs, you get more acne, or is it kind of just like overall these things cause certain types of flare-ups inside the gut that like end up manifesting in different forms depending on who you are?
So it kind of, I guess in general, these are what I just listed are most associated with skin issues. Okay. So those are like the top allergens to avoid.
So what things do you obviously, like, you know, we got the bitters, we got things that we kind of spend less time eating.
Yeah.
But as far as things you eat for yourself or you recommend for people coming to you, like what is like the process of like what's like a day of your normal eating for healthy skin, healthy life?
Ooh.
So just for you personally, because obviously everyone's different with different nuances. But like, if you had to say like, okay, on my best day of me eating as clean as possible for gut health, from everything that I've learned so far, this is like what I would do.
Okay, so lately, because of school and everything, I'm trying to get back on track with healthy eating because I'm not perfect either, and I have had some breakouts here and there for my skin because of either like the hormones or the food I was eating or whatever. So for a good day for me, I start the day off with like a protein shake. Okay. I don't eat meat, so I do like plant-based proteins. I really like Amazing Grass. They have one that's for skin. Can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's to promote like natural collagen with plants. So I like that, and I'll do that. I'll throw in some greens in there with it, maybe banana and almond milk, and then for lunch and dinner, I kind of will eat similar things. So for instance, I like to incorporate maybe some fermented foods. So I really like kimchi. I might be a little biased though because I'm half Korean. I grew up eating kimchi. But if you like any of the fermented foods, whether it's like kefir, what else? Sauerkraut, kimchi.
Sauerkraut?
Sauerkraut is a good fermented food. It's really good for your gut.
Really? I always thought of sauerkraut.
You like it?
No, I always throw it out.
Oh.
Now
eat it.
Now I eat it.
Don't waste it.
Sauerkraut will not be wasted ever again.
Yeah. So for me, like, I would make maybe like a bibimbap dish, which is basically like a bowl of rice and then some sauteed veggies. Okay. And then typically, or like traditionally, you add meat and an egg, a fried egg on top. But I don't eat eggs either, so I just do tofu, non-GMO organic tofu, and then I will add the kimchi to that. So make sort of almost like a macrobiotic bowl or whatever those are called. You know, they have like the fermented food and then some other like simple carbs, or not simple, complex carbs. And
you just dropped a whole new gem on me.
Oh.
I've never had a macro bowl. Not yet anyway, so I'll have to go check them out though. And I'll eat my sauerkraut. And I'll gotta get some kimchi too. Okay. Now you also you're also engaged.
I am.
You should have put a ring on. So how do you do it? Well, first of all,
how did he do?
Corey.
Yes, my fiance name is Corey King.
Actually, let's go back to the backstory. They have a cool backstory. just give you a little bit of it. He's also a naturopathic doctor.
Yes.
It's cute, guys.
Okay, so I was a first year, just coming into last year, and there's a 3-day orientation before school starts. So there were some students in there from the upper class, and they were talking about their experience and whatever. So then I noticed this guy sitting there, and he's like tan, and I was like, ooh, I like tan guys. If you guys care at all. Anyways, tan, and he was cute, and I was like, oh my gosh. So then it's so weird because I would go for a few weeks without seeing him, and then like I would randomly see him in the parking lot or going into a building, and every time I saw him, it was like I got like the butterflies almost. And then one day he friend requested me on Facebook, which is funny because
there we go.
I'll just say this, I'm not shy, and I'm not ashamed But I was creeping on Facebook and I found his Facebook before he friend requested me.
Oh, of course, you gotta creep.
Yeah, and I know girls, I know we've all done this. We all we're really good at investigating and finding out things. So I found him, and then I was like, oh, he has a girlfriend. There was a picture of him, another girl was hugging him, and I was like, all right, never mind then.
Take it.
And then, it was so weird. Not very long after that, he friend requested me. And I was like, oh.
Yes.
So then I played the naive card, and I messaged him. I was like, hi, I'm a first year student, and I was wondering if you have any study tips or any resources for me.
Shoot your shot, baby.
And then he's like, yeah, here's my number. Let's meet up. I'll give you a flash drive, which is so old school because nowadays you can just share everything on Google Drive.
Literally.
And I was like, okay. So we met up in this interactive area at our school. And that just means it's a common area for people to go hang out and either talk with people, eat lunch, study, whatever you want to do. So then he walks in from the opposite end of the interactive area.
Doing a swap.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it was the craziest thing. It was in the movies where the room just felt like it was spinning. My focus was only on him and I didn't see anyone else. And I was like, I've never felt this way about anyone before. That's so weird. So there was when I was a first year, I was really involved with the organizations and trying to get out there. But then eventually that changed because I just got so tired with all the schoolwork that we had to do.
Of course.
But at first I was involved with this. The AAHM has members who are from all the different healthcare fields. There was the MDs, DOs, nurses, I think are part of it, physician assistants, naturopathic doctors. So these are all people who are advocates for integrative medicine. So they're part of this organization. And there's a student membership or a student organization or extension of that. So I was part of that, and there was a mixer that weekend. But I was also having a party with my class at my apartment complex. I was like, let's have a hot tub party, and so all these people were coming over that same night. Oh yeah, well that was fun. We fit a lot of people in this tiny hot tub. So anyways, Corey's like, oh, I'm going to that too, the mixer, and I was like, oh, okay, so I'll see you there. And this mixer was kind of cool because it had people from was it SDSU? No, not SDSU. UCSD, yeah. And who were in the medical program there. And then I also had the acupuncturist at PCOMs, Pacific College of Oriental Medicine in San Diego. So it was a good variety of us. So I go there, I see Corey, I'm like, hey, and I'm off. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just talking to people. I guess I went alone. I didn't know anyone. So then I had to go back, which is so funny because I'm introverted.
But you're extroverted sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes I force myself. And I get these moments of oh, okay, I'm ready to see people and be social. But anyways, I go to say bye to Corey. Hey, okay, good. I'm glad, because
that's on top.
Yeah. And he was talking to another girl.
Ooh.
So I was like, hey, I interrupted him. I'm like, hey, I'm leaving. Do you want to get coffee sometime? And at that time, I didn't know he was hooking up with that girl. And now that I think about it, I'm like, oh, she's probably really mad.
But look who won, bitches.
Right.
Shoot your shot.
Anyways, he hesitated a little bit, and I was like, oh no, he's gonna say no in front of this girl. But then he said yes. So coffee turned into dinner and wine, and then we went back to his place, and then he was like, I don't want anything serious. I was like, okay. 4 years later, he stuck around. It was so funny because he kept finding ways to see me after that night. He was like, oh, I'm at Whole Foods, are you hungry? Do you want me to bring you some vegan chili? And I was like, sure. And then another time I got sick, and then he brought me some elderberry syrup, which is really good for boosting your immune system.
There we go. Kind of back in. Yeah, ladies, shoot your shot. Mm-hmm. Shoot your shot.
Don't be scared.
It's not just about the fellas. You shoot too.
That's right. So that's our story. And here we are.
And he's also a naturopathic doctor who is supposed to be on the podcast. But,
yes.
He's
too shy.
I want to hear Corey. You want to know the podcast. Now his is a little different. Can you just give us a little taste of what he does?
Yeah. So he graduated a couple years ago, And he actually went to the AAHM conference, met an MD, a medical doctor who's a urologist, and he was going to work with him, but then he met this osteopathic doctor who... Oh, a urologist is
I only know family practice.
Sorry, my bad. Urologist is someone who focuses on like the urinary system or like the renal system.
Oh shit! So like
kidneys to the bladder. Yeah.
Oh, it's good to know.
Yeah. So like men, women, you got like problem going on down there.
Okay.
You go see urologist.
You gotta go pee. You got pee issues.
Yeah.
You gotta see him. Amongst other things.
Basically.
Yes.
So. Corey met this osteopathic doctor who practices in Palm Springs. So long story short, he became business partners with the osteopathic doctor instead. And which is kind of cool because it enhances his scope of practice so that he can prescribe medications and do more with his degree in naturopathic medicine. So he's working full-time in Palm Springs right now. He has a booming clinic or like practice. He is killing it, and he focuses on regenerative medicine, anti-aging, adjunctive cancer support, and he does a lot of with regenerative medicine. It's like prolotherapy, PRP, joint injections. So if you have like knee pain or shoulder pain, and you know, instead of doing surgery, you have another option to consider, and that's what people don't realize or know about, is that you don't have to get surgery if your knee starts hurting. Well, you might have to. It depends on case-by-case basis, but look into other options out there as well before you go to something that's so invasive on your body. So with joint injections, you can just do it in office. There's like a few in your shoulders. I think he uses like a numbing spray or something, so it doesn't hurt. So that's that, and then he does like ozone therapy and peptides, exosomes, and
there's a lot of cool shit.
Yeah, it's like out of the box for a naturopathic doctor, but he's helped so many people.
I'm trying to get him on the show, guys. I'm trying to get him on the show.
Yeah.
Now, as far as fun stuff, what's like the last song you listened to that you like jamming out to? Like, what's like your anthem right now?
Right now, it's a remix of, or like a cover of "Summertime Sadness" by John Gurney.
Oh, okay.
It's so chill, and I'm a fan of country music, and he's a country singer, and it has like a little twang to it, but I can listen to that on repeat forever right now.
Really?
Yeah.
You're a big country fan?
Yeah, I am. I grew up listening to country music.
Wow.
I was a tomboy, guys.
Oh, not
like this was not always me. I was in jeans, little ponytail, sneakers, t-shirt, like.
Any sports?
Okay, so I became a cheerleader, but this was like post tomboy phase.
Okay.
So when I was a tomboy, I wanted to play baseball with my brother because he was in like little league and stuff, and so I was always tagging along. I never played, but.
You just kind of supported.
Yeah, and I like would go to the practices, and my dad would like, you know, I'd like play, we like throw the ball back and forth. I had my own glove at one point, and like, yeah.
So what about like, this fashionista you got right here? I wouldn't know where you can get the hat, let alone how to pull it off. When did this come about?
This came about, probably like high school.
Really?
Halfway through middle school. Middle school's a weird time for everyone, but that's when I started to transition and like kind of find myself. And you know, in middle school, for me personally, like I had a really hard time. It was like the worst years of my life, to the point where like I like really just wanted to end it all, you know. And that's really sad, because when you're a child, it shouldn't be that way. You should be like full of happiness and like the world is your oyster, kind of like anything can happen. But for me, like, I don't know what happened. I was cyberbullied by this group of girls who were my friends, and all of a sudden, do you remember AIM?
Yep.
I had a name account, and it was like my name spelled backwards, so it was like Milliram 94.
Oh, there we go, Milliram.
How creative, right? So, and all of a sudden, like one day they all turned on me, and there's just like one message after brother, talking, like saying all this nasty stuff about me and then about my family. So I was like, okay, I gotta sign off of this. And then like in school, they'd come up to me. I don't know if all middle schools are like this, but like there was like you get dropped off before school started, I don't know, 15 minutes early or whatever. And like at my school, we were all hanging out in like the recess area. And then when the bell rang is when you can go into the school. Okay, so
yeah, that's pretty standard. I feel like that's what I had anyway. So.
Yeah. So then I remember, this is like such a vivid memory. One day I was walking when I got dropped off, like along the sidewalks, I was walking to the school, and then a couple of the girls came up to me, and they were just saying shit in my face, right next to me.
Fucking bastards.
Yeah, and I just kept walking, and I wanted to cry, like, I was like, oh my god. And I didn't have any friends, I was alone, I didn't have anyone to sit with at lunch, I didn't have anyone to like hang out with at recess, I kind of just like went off by my own. And I mean, even like in elementary school, so I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood, and I identified more with, I'm half Korean, half Italian American. I identified more with my Italian American side than my Korean side because I was embarrassed of my like being Korean, and because I wanted to fit in with everyone else who's white. And which is funny because I looked so Asian when I was younger. I was like, why would I even identify as an Italian? Yeah, I'm Asian. That's what I identify with now, and I'm so proud of it. But like when I was younger, I wasn't. I was very embarrassed. So in elementary, and looking back on this, I was definitely like picked on because of like how I looked. Even though back then I didn't really think anything of it. I was just like, oh, they just don't like me. But I mean, like
little kids are fuckers.
Little kids are. I can't believe it. And I see all those videos on Instagram of like kids getting bullied and then even beat up, like physically attacked, and like it breaks my heart.
Me too.
Yeah, have you been bullied too?
Oh yeah, bullied so much. I was bullied like my entire life.
Really?
Yeah, bro, so much. I grew up in New York City, in the Bronx, and like where I lived was pretty like it was fine enough, but like there's definitely other areas that are a little more risque, you know what I mean? And when I went to Catholic school for like, I went to Catholic school from like 3rd grade to 6th grade.
Oh my gosh.
Or like from whatever happened. I went to Catholic school for a good amount of my middle school years, but I went to public school for my 7th grade year. And that was my first time going from like, oh, like Catholic school, like Lord and Savior every day. You can't do anything wrong with like the real deal, Holyfield. And I got picked on every single day. I got in like 6 fights. It was tough. Like it was like, it was a interesting time in the life of Don Jackson, and that's one of the main reasons that I actually ended up moving to New Jersey because my family was like, parents were like, we can't have him going here.
That bad?
It was that bad.
Wow.
And like it was at the point where like I got enough beatings that I was like, all right. I was
physically beat up.
I was like actually beat up, like actually like fights and stuff.
Oh my god.
And it was at the point where like I was like, all right, I've taken enough now. Like I would have been a whole different kid if I was didn't go along. Like I would have been like, this nice shining dom that you know now would have been the guy you saw on the news if I was there a little more. I already felt it like turning. So I think, but those that made me who I am today, you know.
Right.
And I'm so much. And you imagine you're so much stronger at taking things now. You're like, I went through that shit like. Fucking YouTube comment.
Yeah. Oh, well, it still bugs me when I get those negative YouTube comments.
Oh, of course. Well, it's annoying, but like.
Yeah, but it's like, because of what happened, like, I can handle it.
Exactly. The adversities of your past build you to a stronger future.
Definitely.
Damn, you guys hear that shit? That was a freestyle. We're just going off the top right now. That was amazing.
That was so good.
But I'm glad that, you know, the bullying thing is, it's like a universal pain that we all kind of have together, you know, that kind of gets us a little closer.
It is, and I'm just like, I can't even imagine, man, even like today, it's weird because I don't know how it is with men, but like women are still bullies. Like even, I'm sure men are too, but like women are so catty towards each other.
Yeah.
And like I've experienced, even in naturopathic medical school, I've experienced some like, maybe not direct, but like some indirect like negativity where I was like, that's so weird because, you know, like with naturopathic medicine and doctors, you think like everyone's kumbaya, holding hands, like we're all like lovey-dovey towards each other, but it's like, it's not like that. It's interesting. I was gonna say.
The hate is real.
Yeah.
The good news is, guys, that no matter what the world is throwing at you, you only choose what you want to feel, what you want to react to, you know? And people are in their own places. Some people are in darker spots, but you can't let that affect their own life, you know? You can't throw your shoes in the mud just because everyone else's shoes are dirty.
Right.
Bro, I'm like, what? Oh, actually.
Wait. I forgot to add something.
Okay.
Like where my bully story was going.
Yes, okay.
Because it didn't kind of like make sense.
It kind of didn't, but I was gonna like stop you.
Okay. So we're taking it back.
We'll take it back.
Okay. So elementary was bullied. Middle school it was the worst. I leave for Korea. I've been going to South Korea ever since I was young because my mom would take my brother and I to see like her family there. Even when I was in Korea, people were texting me nasty text messages like, "You're a Barbie slut. You're a blah blah blah." I was like, yeah, oh my god. I was on my grandma's phone bill and I rang that phone bill up to $1,000 because like I didn't realize how expensive at the time international text messages were. But like, yeah, people were still attacking me and I was overseas in a different country. And I was like, what did I do? It was people like, I don't know, that I wasn't like that close with, but like, it always revolved around a guy.
Of course.
Which
Men
is,
ruin everything.
guys are, I've been friends with a lot of guys because they're just so much easier to get along with. And I know that's like how a lot of us girls feel, but it's like, this is why. Because I don't have to deal with like messages like that coming from girls. So I go to Korea, I get this makeover. I used to have this mole on my chin, and in elementary people call me poop chin. I can laugh about it now, but I hated it. I was like, I'm not poop chin. It's really sad. So I go to Korea, I get it removed. I get it removed. It's gone. I kept this one though because this reminds me of some like Marilyn Merola beauty mark going on.
Yeah. Not poop chin.
No, God. And then I get colored contacts.
Really?
I got blue ones. And then I got highlights for the first time in my hair. And I just came back feeling good, looking good. I was starting at a new school, getting away from that middle school garbage. And I decided to become a cheerleader. So I went back, or the cheerleading tryouts started like a little sooner than the school year started. So I was already like in this group of new friends before school started, which was nice. So anyways, it didn't last long because in high school I was also like bullied. There was this girl who would like chase me down the halls because she thought I was into her boyfriend. And I was like, girl, I don't mind a man, like he's like so scrawny, like I hope no one from my hometown listens to this because they'll know who I'm talking about. But there was like issues with that. Girls would like gag when I walked down the hallway. Yeah, going to my locker. And then I graduated high school in 3 years, and because I wanted to get away from that. And then life was better after that. But it made me who I am today, and I transitioned from tomboy in middle school to fashionista. It started in Korea. After middle school, and it slowly progressed to what I am today. Okay. That's where we're going. It's a very long story, long story, but it's how it happened.
Snowball.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, so ebook.
Yes. She wrote a book, guys. She wrote a book.
Yes. I never wanted to be an author. I hated writing, because we just wrote so many assignments in school. And I was like, I'm so sick of writing. I'm never gonna have to write again. And I wrote like a research paper and all this stuff, and I was just like, no more. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I want to write a guide for prospective naturopathic medical students on how to become a doctor.
Yes.
A naturopathic doctor.
Yes. Love it.
So
all the kids out there, if you get bullied, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Keep going.
The kids out there getting bullied, you too can be an author, a naturopathic author, or some dialogue podcast.
A doctor, whatever you want to be.
You can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. Anyway, back to the book.
Yes, so the book is your complete guide from start to finish, from the interview preparation to how to choose which school is right for you, to how to succeed during school, how to pass the NCLEX licensing examinations, what you need to succeed with those, and then what you can do as a naturopathic doctor after you graduate. Career opportunities and specializations.
So it's the whole process, basically.
It is, yeah.
That's fucking dope. A process book. I like that. You guys know more about the process, guys. Whether it be fitness process, career process, relationship process, bullying, becoming less of a tomboy, turn to a fashionista process. A lot of process on the podcast.
There is. Wow. Oh, I'm gonna put it that way.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about. So Marilyn, for all the people that want to find out more things about you, follow you, get the gist, fashion advice, naturopathic advice, any other great things you can offer them, how do they find you and follow you?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at
The gram.
Dr.Merola Merola, and then you can also find me on YouTube. My channel is called Talk Natural to Me.
Talk natural.
It has a lot of videos about my life as a naturopathic medical student, but I'm going to start transitioning that to more clinical videos, life as a naturopathic doctor. So you can go check that out too.
You guys definitely give her a follow. I have all the links inside the notes of this episode. And definitely, if you guys can let me know, hit me up on Twitter too, so I can know what you guys like about this episode. I really appreciate that. That would mean the world to me. Guys, thank you so much for listening. You remember I had a great time?
Yes.
You had a great time.
I had a great time.
You had a great time. Thank you guys so much for listening. And as always, take care.